Okay, so today we're working on doing some Cricut work. I'm going to cut a label to go on my alphabet box using my Cricut. First thing I'm going to do when I go in here is I'm going to open a text box and I'm going to type in alphabet, which is what I'm going to label my box. It helps if I can actually spell this morning. And then I'm going to resize that alphabet. I didn't attach or weld these because everything looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and resize the alphabet down to the size that I want for the top of my box. Top of my box is about 3 by 2, and I want this a little smaller than that. So I'm just getting my letters ready and I'm making it small enough to go on the top. Double checking to make sure that everything is spelled correctly. And then I'm going to click on Make It once I am ready to go. And then I'm going to move the word on my mat. I've put my vinyl on there already and it's down about an inch and over about an inch. So I'm putting it right there. The next step is for me to choose the blade that I want to use, which I know is going to be my fine cut blade. Then I'm going to choose vinyl, which is the second one from the right on the top row. I'm going to choose my pressure as more, which I usually do with vinyl. And then once it's all remembering everything that needs to be done, I'm going to click the load button on my maker. It's the right arrow that's green and it flashes when it's ready for you to load. Now that I've pressed the load button, I'm going to press the flashing C, and that's the go button to tell the Cricut to go ahead and cut my vinyl out. It's a simple word, so it should just take a moment to cut. I have mine plugged in, even though the Cricut has the option for Bluetooth. It works faster for me if I'm attached by the cable. And almost done. There we are. I'm going to press the flashing load and unload button, which is again that arrow. Okay, so now that we have our alphabet word printed out, we need to weed it. And what we're going to do here, I know that you can't see the letters yet, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and lift up the edge of the vinyl where it's not cut. And I'm going to do a 45-degree angle here. And I'm just going to pull off the excess vinyl, being careful not to take any of the letters that I want with it. It's a fairly simple and straightforward word. Sometimes the little letters like that L want to go with the vinyl that you're pulling off the back. So I'm going to turn it around so you can see it here. And I have a couple of tools that I use when I weed. One of them is my pick. I'm just going to use my pick to go in there and lift that up. And I will use my excess vinyl to get that little piece off of there. I have arthritis in my hands, so sometimes this is a little tough to do. There's that little piece that came out of our P. Attaching it to that scrap piece of vinyl because I don't want little pieces of vinyl everywhere. I'm just putting it on there. You can use my tweezers to do it as well. Sometimes I do that. And I always kind of push at the edge of the insert and lift so I don't mess up any of my letters. That little piece on the E is sometimes tough. They sell picks at Harbor Freight that you can use for this. I do happen to like the Cricut tool here. And the reason that I like the Cricut tool is because it has a wider back on it to hang on to. I have that little piece of purple stuck to my finger. Doesn't appear to want to go anywhere. Okay. So now all my pieces are removed. I'll throw that in the garbage. I use contact paper as my transfer tape most of the time. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to lay the contact paper so it is completely over the letters. I normally use a credit card shaped brayer tool that Cricut makes. But since this is little letters, I'm just going to use the back of my tool here. Easier for me to hold on days when I'm having pain in my hands, and today is one of those. All right, so now that I've done it from the plastic side, I'm also going to do it from the backing side. And all I'm trying to do is make sure that the letters stick to the plastic. And then I'm going to use the 45-degree angle again to keep doing this and to pull my letters off. What I want is for my letters to stick to the plastic, not to come off with that card. You can use your tool to encourage them to stick. I don't use the sharp part there. I just want to make sure that they stay down. And as you can see, this one's being a little bit stubborn. That's what the 45-degree angle is good for, because you can see the edge of the letter and see if it's coming off. And you can push that paper back down pretty easily without distorting any of your letters. And I'm pushing down on the paper and then kind of just rolling it back. And the A wants to sit in a funny spot. I have a way to solve that though. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to put the rest of the alphabet on here. And I'm doing it at an angle because that's what I want. I'm just going to push it down. What I'll do is I'll just apply that A separately. Again, back end of my tool. Just press it down really well. And we'll do 45-degree angle again. And that's going to come off easily. Now we had an issue with our A. Let me go back in here and get the A fully onto the plastic. I'm kind of glad that happened, because it shows you that there are ways to solve things. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not perfect at anything. So this makes it easy for me to show you how to fix what you might think is a big boo-boo, but really isn't. And then I want to line my A up. Notice I'm not pressing down yet. So lined my A up. And pressed. There it is on my box. I keep these little pieces of contact paper because they're really good for things like this. The alphabet is now written on there. That's where I want it. I'm going to throw away the piece of backing paper from my vinyl. And that is that.